Welcome back to AFT Dice Season 3. It is round 10. Let's go to the first game. It is Western Bulldogs versus Sydney Swans at the MRVL Stadium. All right, the first quarter's being processed. And the Bulldogs have kicked 1-2 to Sydney 4-1. And Sydney got a bit of a lead in the first quarter. Let's go to the second quarter. And Sydney kick on at halftime. Sydney are leading by 37 points. Western Bulldogs 3-6-24 to Sydney 9-7-61. Let's go to the third quarter. And the third quarter, Western Bulldogs have hit back. They've kicked 6-4 to Sydney 4-5. Western Bulldogs 9-10-64 to Sydney 13-12-90. Still 26 points down the Western Bulldogs. Let's go to the last quarter. Anyone's game, this one. And Bulldogs have kicked 4-1 to Sydney 3-5, but in the end, Sydney have won this game by 24 points. Western Bulldogs 13-11-89 the final score to Sydney 16-17-113. All right, let's go to the next game. It is Fremantle versus Melbourne at Optus Stadium. Let's go to the first quarter. And Freo have kicked 3-1 to Melbourne 1-1. All right, let's go to the second quarter. Sydney are in the top 4 now. Fremantle have kicked 2-6 to Melbourne 3-4. And at halftime, Fremantle are leading by 8 points, 5-7-37 to Melbourne 4-5-29. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter's been processed. And Fremantle have kicked 6-3 to Melbourne 3-1. And at three-quarter time, Fremantle are leading by 28 points. Let's go to the last quarter. And Fremantle and Melbourne have kicked 1-1 in that last quarter, and Fremantle win by 28 points. Fremantle final score 12-11-83 to Melbourne 8-7-55. Let's go to the next game. It's Richmond versus West Coast at the MCG. Let's go to the first quarter, and Richmond have kicked 4-4 to West Coast 6-5. West Coast are in front by 13 points. Let's go to the second quarter. And the second quarter's been processed. Richmond have kicked 4-6 to West Coast 6-1. And at halftime, West Coast are leading by 20 points. Let's go to the third quarter of this game. Richmond have kicked 4-5 to West Coast 5-3. And at three-quarter time, Richmond are down by 24 points. All right, let's go to the last quarter of this game. And Richmond have kicked 5-4 to West Coast 6-4. And West Coast win this game by 5 goals. Final score, Richmond 17-19-121 to West Coast 23-13-151. And that is the highest score for an away team. So let's go to the first quarter of the next game. It's GWS versus Carlton at Giant Stadium. And at quarter time, Carlton lead by 5 points. Let's go to the second quarter. West Coast push up to 5th spot. Second quarter's been processed. GWS have kicked 4-3 to Carlton 6-1. And at halftime, Carlton lead by 15 points. All right, let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, GWS have kicked 6 to Carlton 6-4. And at three-quarter time, GWS are down by 13 points. GWS 13-14-92 to Carlton 16-9-105. This is anyone's game here in the last quarter. Anything can happen. And GWS have kicked 2-4, but in the end, Carlton have kicked 6-5, and they win by 38 points. The final scores, GWS 15-18-108 to Carlton 22-14-146. Another big score in this game. All right, let's go to the next game. It is Geelong versus Brisbane down at GMHBA Stadium. Let's go to the first quarter. And Brisbane are out of the blocks. They've kicked 6 goals, 2 to Geelong, 1-1. All right, let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter. Geelong have hit back. They've kicked 5 goals, 2 to Brisbane, 2 goals, 1. And at halftime, Brisbane are only leading by 12 points. Let's go to the third quarter. And the third quarter, Brisbane have kicked 6 goals, 6 to Geelong, 4 goals, 1. And at three-quarter time, Geelong are down by 29 points. Let's go to the last quarter of this game. It's a matter of Brisbane maybe pushing Geelong out of the 8. Brisbane have kicked 6 goals, 5 to Geelong, 4-5, and Brisbane in this game win by 41 points. Brisbane final score 2014, 134 to Geelong, 14-9, 93. Let's go to the next game. It's Adelaide versus Essendon. Let's go to the first quarter. First quarter's done. Adelaide's kicked 3 goals, 5 to Essendon, 4-5. Let's go to the second quarter. Brisbane go from 9th to 6th, and they're in front of Geelong at this stage on the ladder. At halftime, Essendon have kicked 6 goals, 5 to Adelaide, 5-3. Essendon lead by 14 points. Adelaide 8-8, 56 to Essendon, 10-10, 70 at halftime. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter's done. Essendon have kicked 5 goals, 3 to Adelaide, 1-2. And at three-quarter time, Adelaide are down by 39 points. Let's go to the last quarter, this game. And Adelaide have kicked 6 goals, 4 to Essendon, 5-6. But in the end, Essendon win by 35 points. Final scores, Essendon 20 goals, 19, 139. To Adelaide, 15-14, 104. Let's go to the next game. It's Port Adelaide versus Gold Coast Suns at Adelaide Oval. First quarter, Port Adelaide have kicked 2 goals, 4 to Gold Coast, 2 goals, 6. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, Port Adelaide have kicked 3 goals, 1 to Gold Coast, 2-4. And at halftime, Port Adelaide are leading by 1 point. All right, let's go to the third quarter of Port Adelaide versus Gold Coast. Third quarter's done. Gold Coast have kicked 3 goals, 3 to Port Adelaide, 1-2. And at three-quarter time, Gold Coast are in front by 12 points. Port Adelaide are sitting third on the ladder. Gold Coast sitting third last. Let's go to the last quarter to see who wins this game. All right. Port Adelaide have kicked 6 goals, 3 to Gold Coast, 3 goals, 3. And in the end, Port Adelaide get over the top by 6 points. What a game. All right. So Port Adelaide are still in the top 4. They're actually on top at the moment. North Melbourne hasn't played. But let's go to the first quarter of the next game. It's Hawthorn versus Collingwood, and Hawthorn have kicked 3 goals, 1 to Collingwood, 2-2. All right, let's go to the second quarter of this game. Collingwood's going for 3 in a row. Hawthorn have kicked 6 goals, 6 to Collingwood, 1-6. And at halftime, Hawthorn are leading by 35 points. Let's go to the third quarter. See if Collingwood can turn this game around. And third quarter's done. Hawthorn have kicked 5 goals, 3 to Collingwood, 3 goals, 5. And Hawthorn at three-quarter time are 14-10, 94 to Collingwood, 6-13, 49. Collingwood are down by 45 points. Let's go to the last quarter. It's not going to be 3 in a row for Collingwood. And the last quarter, Hawthorn have kicked 2 goals for 4. Collingwood kicking 5 goals 4. And in the end, Hawthorn win by 27 points. Final scores, Hawthorn 16-14, 110 to Collingwood 11-17, 83. All right, let's go to the last game of the round. It's North Melbourne versus St Kilda. See if North Melbourne can hold top spot with a game clear. First quarter's done. North Melbourne have kicked 1-5 to St Kilda 3-3, 21. Let's go to the second quarter of this game. St Kilda are third, North Melbourne second. So top 4 clash here. North Melbourne kicking 4 goals 1 to St Kilda 2-5 in the second quarter. And at halftime, it's very close. St Kilda are in front by 2 points. Let's go to the third quarter of this game. Third quarter has been processed. St Kilda have kicked 4 goals 6 to North Melbourne 1-4. And at 3-quarter time, St Kilda have got a handy lead of 22 points. But North Melbourne can still win this game. All right, let's go to the last quarter of this game. Final quarter, North Melbourne kicking 4 goals 3 to St Kilda 3 goals 6. But in the end, St Kilda have won by 19 points. All right, let's go to the final, the ladder after round 10, and we've got St Kilda on top with that win against North Melbourne, and we've got Port Adelaide. North Melbourne are on the same points, 28 points each, and then Sydney rounds out the top 4, and then the remaining 4 teams in the 8 are West Coast, Brisbane, Hawthorn, and Geelong. And we had a highest away team score, and that was West Coast against Richmond, kicking 23 goals, 13, 151 at the G. All right, that concludes round 10 for AFT Dice Season 3. We'll see you next time.